London, one of the world's great financial centres, an ancient capital city, attracting millions of visitors yearly. London is the largest centre of priceless Chinese antiques outside of mainland China. Asian Art in London Week. This event is a week-long series of sales in all the major auction houses in London. Here in London, we're going to be meeting with world-renowned experts in the wonders of Chinese pieces through the ages. But we'll also be seeing London's world-famous auction houses in action, where record prices for Chinese pieces are regularly achieved. London's hidden Chinese treasures. We're going to go into Christie's auction house, which is one of the premier auction houses in the world. How important is the Chinese market to Christie's?
It's becoming increasingly important to us, and with the level of interest that we're finding in Chinese art that is coming into London, in particular with our Far Eastern clients, which are appearing more and more so in London, and market being so strong, it's become far more important to us, and it's something we're really focusing on in London in particular.
Bonhams, where record prices for Chinese pieces are regularly achieved. Here we have an exceptional piece.
800,000 worldwide, 5 million pounds, 6 million pounds, 7,200,000, 7,500,000 for a new winner. On the telephone, again, the other two telephone winners, 7,800,000, 7,900,000, 8 million pounds. Fair warning, both of you, 8 million. Sold!
聚集了全世界，就是等于中国，瓷器最好都在伦敦。
整体的经济稍弱了一点，实际上这些东西现在卖得非常便宜。
雍正时期的一个洋彩的山都烛台，它还卖到115万镑，非常多的是。
We asked one of the world's most knowledgeable dealers in Chinese antiques for his reaction to this amazing sale figure.
It didn't surprise me because there have been precedents. About a year ago in Sotheby's, Hong Kong, a vase of similar group, that's to say Imperial Tamarose porcelain of the late Qinlong period, fetched £20 million. And therefore people weren't surprised that this fetched 10. There have also been other precedents in New York in June of this year. A vase of, again, similar grouping fetched about £12 million. So there are other examples, which is why that ballpark figure wasn't so unrealistic.
Colin Sheaf, who conducted the astonishing sale, tells us how the organisation Asian Arts in London came into being and who is buying the top items now.
It's changed a lot over the decade that Asian Art in London has been in business. Historically, the Europeans and the Americans are very big buyers of Japanese art. Now we find the Japanese are coming increasingly to London because the quality of the sales are much better at Bonhams. Chinese art, well, in the 70s it was the Hong Kong Chinese who began to buy in the West. Then in the 80s the Taiwanese joined in as they too became successful and rich. And in the noughties, over the last decade, what has transformed the whole nature of the market for Chinese art globally is the emergence of buyers from the mainland itself. I think London will remain for the foreseeable future, along with New York and with Hong Kong, the three great global international centres for selling top quality Chinese art at auction.
As well as the leading auction houses, one or two dealers are now holding their own sales in central London. We spoke to Louise Gray, a partner in a leading dealer's firm, about what she was hoping to accomplish with her sales.
What persuaded us was that one of our partners has got a wonderful collection and he wanted to disperse of some of his collection. We had helped form that collection and we thought, well, are we going to give it to an auction house or why not hold an auction ourselves? And this is what we decided to do.
Now, is there an advantage in coming to you to sell through one of your events like this?
Absolutely, because we do not charge the vendor any commission. We have decided that we do of course charge the buyer a commission, but we do not charge any commission whatsoever to the vendor.
Chinese-made silver has become of increasing interest to dealers and buyers alike. And there's a reason for this, as a leading dealer explains.
Quite a lot of items went to Singapore, and certainly we were selling to Hong Kong on a regular basis. But we didn't actually see anyone from mainland China until I would imagine it was probably 2005, and then a steady trickle in 6 and 7, and then the stream 2008 onwards. There are dealers, we're answering questions from all over China now. They have recognised their countrymen 150 years ago made some of the finest silver that has ever been produced. Other people, other nationalities from around the world are also looking at Chinese silver.
Chinese porcelain is probably the oldest and longest established in the world. Lawrence Mitchell told us how these fine pieces came to Europe and Britain in particular.
Augustus the Strong was one great Prussian emperor and was known to be an assiduous collector. As far as the eyes could see, he had to have it. If it meant swapping people, but particularly it were these tall vases, 3, 4, 5 feet high, that he decided that, I think it was either 550 or 600 was a round figure for him to exchange. So, you there, you there, you there, point up, see those vases? Well, I'm exchanging you for the vases.
Kevin Page, one of London's most successful dealers in his showrooms.
They call this Treasure Island, England. Oh, do you? And every week things are coming out, treasures, you know, Chinese treasures. It's amazing. This is a figure from the Peking Opera, and it dates from around 1870 to 1880. I, in 40 odd years, have never seen another one. So it's very rare.
Kevin had an interesting story to tell us about vases that have been overpainted, and for a very good reason.
All these things, all these vases, are from Wan Li to Qianlong period. They're all originally blue and white, but there was a tax in England on blue and white porcelain, so they were sent to Holland to avoid the tax. The Dutch people overpainted in colours on top of the blue and white, so there was no tax to pay. So we have really good things, but they've got paint on top from Holland. And if the paint can be taken off, the value goes up 4, 6 times, 10 times maybe.
We returned to Jules Spielman's amazing showroom in Mayfair, where there were riches beyond one's wildest imaginings to be viewed.
This is made out of glazed pottery. It would have been specifically made for a tomb, for the afterlife of the person who died. The period of the Tang dynasty is between 618 and 906 AD. Most burials did have pottery and bronzewares buried with them. And depending on the importance of the person, depended on the grandeur of the piece. And this obviously has come from a very important tomb. Witness the size and the use of the various colours and the general quality.
So we hope that in this programme we've been able to show you some of the remarkable and often priceless Chinese treasures here in London in the sales rooms and in the galleries. This is Valentine Palmer from London.